Okay, ladies and gents, welcome, welcome. Hope you're excited. We've got some Acropolis. The main reason I'm casting this is because I wanted some high-level Acropolis, and there just weren't any options. So instead, we've settled for 1,000 elo, an average Joe game, you could call it. And we've got Inspector 44. Why does that ring a bell for me? I don't know. Inspector 44 playing as the Ethiopians in the red. And then in the blue, we have Yaso, who's playing as the Lithuanians. Lithuanians have 150 extra food at the start. That may change in an upcoming patch to only being 100. Technically speaking, it'll be 100 from each TC, so you do get a bonus later on as well. But anyways, Lithuanians are very nice on this map because of that extra food. Because very frequently on this map, you are far away from the enemy. And that is because you're on a hill that is attached to the edge of the map. So if you're attached to the edge of the map, you're also pulled further away from the other side. So this is one of those maps where even the mid-elos or the low-elos or the brand new players shouldn't run into the enemy town center with their scout. Because once you hit the hill, you should know that there's going to be a town center up there, okay? Now, things to know about this map is you cannot wall in the rock terrain, which makes life awkward for you. And then there's lots of teensy little wood lines at the top. And the rest of the wood and the gold and the stone is going to be... Obviously, okay, you do have some golden stone on top too. But the rest of it, in the long term, is going to be down at the bottom of your hill. So you have to leave the safety of your hill to locate the other resources. Sometimes there can be a corner like this, which is really nice. It just feels really convenient to just sneak off to the side and place town centers there or there. And you don't always have that option. But then again, I guess you don't always have stone and gold there either. So... But okay, 1,000 elo, I'm thinking this will be Scout Rush versus Archers, right? If you were to pick Civ trying to go Archers, you would go Ethiopians or Mayans or Britons. If you were to pick Civ to go for Scouts, you'd pick Lithuanians or Magyars or Franks. There's Huns and there's other Civs that can even be mentioned beyond that, but that's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong. Blue, be careful. Don't lose this villager. Everyone's watching you. Oh, the block. The skills from Blue. What a beast. You're so cool, man. You're so cool. Get it? Because of his name? Okay, where are you going? All right, well. That's not the prettiest, but whatever. Oh, God. Okay, Blue forgot to make a house. All right. Relatable problems over here for Blue. So Dark Age has been slowed down a little bit. Both players pushing deer. So this elo, player is able to manage that and other things. Not perfectly, again. As you can see, the TC idle time is there. So this has been a solid start, and this is going to come off as a little bit brutal. This isn't meant to be a coaching cast. We're just meant to have a good time and hopefully enjoy this. But I've had 1,000 elo people come to me, say, T90, I desperately need your help. Like, please coach me. And I say, listen, I don't really have a ton of time for coaching. I might do a coaching series in the future that's more personalized. But my goal is to have entertaining content that also can be informative. And I hope that's what I do for a lot of people. I hope that you learn as you watch. And can still be entertained. But, right here, great example. If you really are desperate, you really want to improve your game, your 1,000 elo, just load up Caps Rage. It's free. It won't have all the bells and whistles of mine if it's free, but it's free. And look, right? Like, consistency is key. Forgetting the houses, 40 seconds of DC idle time, 20 seconds of DC idle time. Like, Blue's down a villager now because of not executing on something that I really don't need to coach you to show you. You could actually do it. Now, this is where the classic quote's going to come in from someone who says, I only watch my wins. There are people who don't like to watch their own games, but yeah. Yeah, that's just like the only... Okay, I take it back. Not the only coaching aspect of this cast, but it's important to note, like, if you want to improve and you want to learn in this game, you have to be able to pick out those points yourself too. Because you're not going to have someone sitting there pointing them all out to you on a consistent basis. Sorry, I have a drink. I have to finish. 1 second. Hey, okay, there we go. I was actually drinking my drink, though. So, Red was scouting and just ran past Blue Scout, also located the hill. And honestly, it looks like red could consider a fast castle here. We have 3 on gold already. And you wouldn't want to have this much on gold with the Ethiopians. Unless you were going... Honestly, I'm not entirely sure what red's doing. Because you get plus 100 food and plus 100 gold when you arrive to the next stage. So red's going to have a ton of gold. And blue says... Poof, man. Today my shit day. Or today is my shit day. And red says, why? Oh, blue. It's not going to be better if you... depending on the result of this game. I am waiting for feudal. Okay, is that why your day is bad? And that is... But now I am realizing I did not start the age. Oh, okay, so he thought he clicked up the feudal age, and then realized a bit late that he didn't click up. Okay, well, it wasn't that bad. There must have been a minute span there. And red just says, ow. Bed. Ooh. Is that an invitation there, red? Probably said bad. Like, oh, sorry, I'm making a joke. You know, deep down, red's probably just like, ooh, yes. I'm gonna act like I care. I don't really care. This is war. Okay, red scout sees the walls. Blue has worked very hard to make sure there's no holes in these walls. There is the scout. The town bell has been rung. Does that get rung at 1,000 elo still? Okay. It's time. Hold on a second. It's time we talk about it. I will eventually make a video about this, but if you know me, I'm going to mention it and probably not make it for another 6 months. Guys, TCs don't hit anything these days. Look at this for a second. There's something up with TC projectiles. Okay, villagers getting hit. Arrow directly to the face. Multiple, right? No damage. That was a couple arrows. 1 hits. He's running towards the town center. He's not kiting back and forth. He's running directly towards the TC. Also no damage. And where the damage is done, in my experience, is when the scout is about max range and is running away. If you're running towards, it doesn't do damage for some reason. But now, he gets hit. Very interesting. Sorry to pause. That has been bothering me for a bit. I've talked about that a lot in some other casts. And red's still kind of in a rough position due to this. Does have a weak scout in the end. But, you know, the town bell was rung, and blue tries to quick wall here. Speedy moves here from blue. It forced a lot of villagers that weren't underneath that TC to go do other things. And blue again said, today is my bleep day. And, you know, is going to try and fix that by making some farms, adding a stable now to go for scouts, and just fix the economy. Meanwhile, on this side, we've got archer production for red. And as expected, based on what we had seen with the economy from red, the gold count is a little high, but it's not too high, right? Always good to have some leftover gold. The wood situation, though, is troubling. So that's just Acropolis for you, and red's... Okay, this is funny. He's researching double bit axe when there's 30 wood left on this tree. Now, obviously, that will help these villagers, too. That is just kind of a funny moment there. So, blue's plan seems to be scout rush and wall up. Red's plan seems to be archers and wall up. And walling is a very important part of Age of Empires 2, especially at mid-elo. You just got to keep yourself safe. But I'd say both players have awkward aspects to their economies right now. And, you know, this could go either way, depending on who's the most aggressive and how the micro goes. Okay, scouts are just passing. That is, of course, red's weak scout from earlier. Blue's not located the enemy yet. Now sees the enemy. Now sees its archers. And had an opportunity there to consider a fight, but realized the numbers were too great and goes bloodlines now. Dang. That is a very big investment for 2 scouts. You are spending 250 resources to add 40 HP onto 2 scouts. I think it's probably better to have the scout numbers, but I guess blue's going to do that too. The blue's thinking about a lot of scouts. I was going to say, how is this 1,000 elo? But it's a very weird map. This would be me too. Yeah, I think the map's part of it, for sure. And Blue said he's having a rough day, right? Like, normally you wouldn't have had to make a new lumber camp in this type of scenario. And then always remember, right? It's like, for the 1,000 elo players watching, go watch your own games if you ever feel like, oh, this can't be 1,000 elo. People who I play against aren't like this. It's very easy when watching Age of Empires 2 to be like, oh, that game's easy. Oh, why didn't they just do that? Well, it's because it's a completely different world when you're in the game. So, Red, if he's moving forward, should move forward with spears, for sure. And I think you should be wanting to move forward now. Because what you don't want is you don't want the scout player to have time to then also mix in skirms. So I think Reds could learn a valuable lesson here, especially against the Lithuanians that have speedy skirmishers that can chase you down. And we even have armor being researched now for these skirms. But had Red moved out earlier, Red would have destroyed. Now it might be a little bit closer, so timing's always crucial here. Let's see how the micro is for Red. Let's look at from Red's perspective. Moving forward, knows where Blue's base is. And I think Red likes to be sneaky. A lot of people with archers like to be sneaky. They don't have the confidence to just run directly in and take big fights. But can you be sneaky? This is walled, right? Now it... Oh, shoot. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, God, Blue's going to build all those palisades. But we know there's a hole there. There's not a hole there, and Red's going to find that villager. Now, Blue is moving forward at the same time. And so this is going to get pretty panicky because Red wanted an actual decent wood line. And so Red's going to try and break through here now. Now, any new skirmishers for Blue could maybe try and defend from this. And now you have Red realizing the scouts were here. And Red with some very nice house walls. But this could still be very problematic. That's going to be a vill down. So now they're even. But these villagers, they will die a very slow death. But they will die eventually to the skirmishers. Tell me Blue noticed this. You remember when Blue said he was having a really bad day? I think Blue saw this at the same time that Red was in his base, or outside of his base, I guess, and never noticed. Now gets another attack signal, now will notice, and now freaks out. Oh, God, and rings the bell. It brings me pain to see the town bell rung because now you got villagers that are idle that didn't need to be idle. I made a video called The 6 TC Tips That Every Player Should Know. Check it out. It's a good video. It talks about other things too, and apparently it can benefit 1,000 elo players. But the town bell just signifies that this is panic, and Blue wants to keep the villagers safe. And good job from Red. Red needed something because Red's taken some losses elsewhere. Red's losing the archers here because of the micro here. Doesn't realize, though, how big of a disaster Blue's life is at the moment. Hopefully not his life, but obviously the game, because this economy is disgustingly bad. And the good news for Red is, villager KD is now somewhat even, and Red's going to be in Castle Age any moment. It could lead to some frustration for Blue. These skirmishers have actually chased Red all the way in towards the town center. So Red garrisoned the archers, but again, you could just garrison the villagers as well. I think currently Red is microing the archers like a beast, trying to keep these things alive for as long as possible. Honestly, I think we see the GG here. With how frustrated Blue was earlier, again, I don't know Blue well. I feel like there's going to be frustration here that's going to lead to calling it. Guys. Okay. Rin, multitasking is hard, guys. Multitasking is really hard. We all know this. It's just kind of funny to see it. The skirmishers from Blue were just chilling underneath the TC. I don't think he knew about that. I don't think Red knows about this either. It's only 5. This is a lie. Oh, really? I thought it was 6 TC tips. Oh, okay. It's 5. My bad. All right, so now red has a couple things to take care of here. First off, will this villager be saved? She still has plenty of time to save herself. She can take 11 more shots. But, like, red lost a lot of archer numbers throughout that whole sequence. So it's going to take red... Oh, God, she's going to fight back! She's going to fight back! Bam! Yeah, get out of here, bully. Dang, that was sick. Okay, Julie against the bully. I kind of like that. Anyways, shoot, I'm getting distracted. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so red doesn't have a big archer number, right? So there's going to be a couple things here in red's mind. On one hand, red's going to think, maybe I can go do damage with Castle Age. But then red might be concerned and might be thinking, well, I actually need to conserve my archer numbers because the last thing I want to do is move out and lose all my mass. So for red, it kind of feels like red's like, let's just go to the second TC. That's a small win for us because then we have more villagers, and let's leave it at that for now. Which obviously gives time for blue to plan for a castle, apparently. Seems to be the plan. Let's look at resources collected. It's, oh my goodness, super close. And again, the KD, the Eco KD, everything else there pretty close as well. So, pros and cons the whole way through. That's the beauty of this game, and the beauty of low elo and mid elo is you never really know what's going to happen because players are one bad mistake or one epic moment away from changing the game. Would you suggest going out to the larger woodlines? This is a late question. It kind of depends where they are. In Blue's case, I would have absolutely done that. And if you're worried about them being exposed, you can make a gate and some palisades. I personally would recommend it. But okay. Blue is in Castle Age, dropped off the stone with those villagers, is running somewhere with these villagers, is sitting in the south next to a relic, and is leaving the front of the base, which isn't completely walled, to drop a castle there. Red could obviously deny that, but red is very busy creating villagers, and red doesn't know what's happening out there in the darkness. And blue will also drop a town center here. I love that TC. It's on wood, and it's on gold, which is exactly what you want. What I'm not sure on is the castle. But I guess in blue's mind, you have the main base, which is kind of protected with the town center. And then you have this area protected, and this area. We also did have an immediate monastery from the Lithuanian player, hoping to get relics, of which blue can see 3. So I think red's going to get this one. Always important to get relics for late game Age of Empires, but especially when you're up against the Lithuanians. Because they get +1 attack on their cav per relic. Or their knight in their latest. I think Lithuanians can be such a good civilization in so many different scenarios. But it is a civ, as blue thinks this is walled when it's not, and isn't running through on either side. It is a civ that I feel is a bit of a trap for some players, because they want to go for the knight so badly that they forget how important and how strong their skirms can be. So I like the fact that blue has clicked the elite skirmisher upgrade, because blue just saw that's a lot of crossbowmen from the Ethiopians. And Ethiopians get the crossbow upgrade for free. So, you know, pikeman crossbows to be expected against something like knights. And scouts did make it in, by the way. I'm not sure if they'll survive much longer. The pikeman's getting some pokes. But no upgrades on the pikes. And wow, there you go. That's something. Yeah, the way I see it, unless Ethiopians add in siege, they have no way to stop the skirmishers. What's happening here? Oh, boy. Oh, blue was going to get that relic. Blue was going to try and get it. Also, how's the skirmisher hitting every shot? The timing. Immediately after I said that, he did not hit that shot. But it still seems like the skirmisher is hitting every shot. And this monk obviously really wants to get that relic. And so converts one of those skirms. And now these skirms need to save the monk. Meanwhile, there's a knight and some crossbows meeting in the middle. Both players don't realize what's happening there. That blue's going to snag that. Okay, so red through the middle. Doesn't notice there's a castle there. Blue's going to make it home maybe with that. And on top of the hill here, we have blue making elite skirmishers. Doesn't have enough blacksmith upgrades. But neither does red, actually. Blue's just going for armor, which is interesting. So what makes skirmishers strong is their pierce armor, so they tank damage. But to not even have fletching is pretty wild. I mean, skirms with armor just they will not be scratched by the crossbowmen, especially because the crossbowmen are missing Bodkin arrow upgrade. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there with this skirm. It felt like that skirm hit every shot against the monk. And now these guys... Blue deleted the elite skirm, and then the old skirm that he converted gets converted back. That's funny. Oh, God. This game has been a treat, man. I hope people have enjoyed this as much as I have. Very unique one here. Oh, man, you have faster skirms, Blue. Have some faith in them, my friend. Probably just doesn't... He really doesn't want to use them before you get certain upgrades, but when you have the speed, you should be having the confidence to close that down. Even if red had full attack, I'm going to explain this because some people don't realize. I'm going to simplify it, okay? A fully armored skirms, for their age, always takes 1 damage from a fully upgraded archer attack for their age. Garrison, 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 hello. Garrison, TC, garrison, 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 into the TC. Bell. Okay, rings the bell. Don't even get me started. There's actually, the other areas of economy is not close enough. Good micro there from red. But yeah, so that means in Feudal Age, Castle Age, or Imp, there's always consistency there. If you're maxed on armor and they're maxed on attack, you're taking 1 damage. The skirmishers here, 4+2 pierce armor for castle, right? After getting the upgrades. And the archers now with full attack do 7 attack. So it's 6 pierce armor on 7 attack. In Feudal Age, it's like 4 pierce armor versus 5 attack. And then in Imp, it's... Am I correct on that, actually? I'm second guessing my explanation. It's 8 pierce armor, right? For skirm? Shoot, I might actually have mixed up my explanation. But the point is, if you have armor, don't be scared, okay? Because an Arbalest gets 6+4 after Bracer and Chemistry. And it's 2 upgrades that apply to the damage output there. Whereas in the other ages, it's just the Blacksmith upgrades. So, yeah, I think maybe it's they tank 2. They take 2 damage a hit. Okay, so skirms are moving out with confidence. There's a whole crap ton of them. They've got full armor, as we said. We have red on the way to the next stage. Red is going to see these skirms and is going to be terrified of them. But blue runs away. Will blue recognize the power that these skirmishers have in this type of situation? If blue ever has any questions on why this game was won or lost, you look back to the skirmishers not chasing down the crossbows earlier and potentially the skirms not getting their value now. Spirit of the mistaken lol. Well, you know, I remember when it first clicked for me how important armor was on skirms. Remember, skirms are a bonus attack unit. It's like their actual attack isn't that important. It's just, can they survive against the crossbowmen? Fully upgraded lead skirm have 4+4 pierce armor. Arb does 6+4 damage with chemistry. Yeah, so my initial explanation was incorrect, but yeah. So you had this whole window where you made the skirms and you invested so much food and gold into it, but the skirms didn't really get to chase down and just chomp on these arbs. And now suddenly red's going to be able to get more upgrades on these things, and the skirms won't feel strong. And blue, I think, scared to run past the town center, which is fair. And red now has had time to think, what do I do against those skirmishers, and is adding siege. All that things that could be problematic for blue. And I love the castle spot from red. This is so nice, right? Because it's in a position where you could sit your trebs underneath your castle to treb their castle. I feel like we don't see that enough from mid-elo players. And what does red click? Red clicks armor. Okay, so armor does not... You're still taking a ton of bonus damage from skirmishers, so I would not suggest that be your first click. Definitely want to get your attacks, but Arbalest is going to come in, which will give +1 attack, so red's going to push now, and I think blue is having an oh crap moment. I'm going to feel bad about this one if this hits YouTube, because blue did say having a crap day. But I think there are a lot of lessons to learn here, a lot of relatability in this game, and a lot of boom on the skirms. Blue, he likes the mobility, I'm sure, but is now seeing his units get destroyed and is not too pleased. Has the right idea, trying to use knights to take out the siege. Unfortunately, Ethiopian firepower is too great. Still no Treb yet from red. There it is now, actually. Still no Bracer or Chemistry from red, but faster firing archers with the Ethiopians, plus that Arbalest is just enough to make a difference. And, well, I've got my concerns for blue. And, oh, blue says this was my shittest game ever. And are you going to resign now, or what's the deal? Here's the other backstory to this, and maybe why blue is speaking so much and why blue seems so stressed. So, right before this game, guys, there was a player in my chat who is named only Ethiopians. No, wrong. Only Lithuanians. Who said, just got a spicy Acropolis game. And right in that moment, I was looking at my game and saw an Acropolis game with Lithuanians versus Ethiopians was about to start. I think blue is a viewer who's felt a lot of pressure because it was like at that same moment, I was like, hey, I'm joining this game. And I haven't seen any chat from this individual since. And now, okay, actually, individuals now saying in my chat says, yeah, that was rough, ... Is my theory correct here? Is my theory correct? You made me so nervous. Oh, it was you. Well, listen, I mean, just blame it all on the nerves then, all right? Forgetting to click up the feudal, a couple other things. Still, though, blue, there are many things in this game that I think would benefit you. And hopefully will benefit other people. Okay, so it makes sense. So you're going to make it to imp and then get completely rolled then, I assume? I've seen spectators in-game up top and been very nervous too. That is true. I've had a lot of people say that if they ever see they have a spectator, they're worried that they're going to be covered or casted by me. But, you know, it's one thing to play the game in general. It's one thing to be covered and know in that moment that you're being watched, right? But honestly, I still think it's a timing thing, this game. I think it's a timing thing with the skirms and putting red under a little bit more pressure with them. And I think red hasn't really shown me that red has any strong answers to heavy skirm play if the timing was a little against, you know, against what has happened here. You do like the armor, which is great. It's just using the skirms once the armor's in that's important here. Always so tricky against the Ethiopians, too, because, like, even if you make a counter unit, these archers fire so freaking fast, man. Machine gun Arbalest. Okay, we do have random knights running in this way. Hakate says, I'm convinced someone follows me around because I feel like I usually have one spectator and it's weird. I know in my case, or anyone who's 2K+, the dashboard always tracks games, and the dashboard acts as a spectator. I'm wondering if there's maybe something for regular players where they have a spectator there. Because there's no way, no offense, but like there's no way that the amount of people that have told me they have seen that one spectator thing actually have a person watching, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a lot of people who like to load up and watch games. But I think there might be something with how the game works where it's like tracking games or something. It always says one spectator. Does it always say one spectator for everyone? I wonder. I bet you that's the dashboard, to be honest with you. I bet you it's the dashboard, but the dashboard only shows it on the site if you're 2K+. Oh no, look at my life. My life is horrible. Okay, I'm not on fire anymore. New farm. Gotta love auto farm. Look how happy he is seeding his fields. Oh, there he goes, back to work. That was just Age of Empires 2 things. Gotta love it. Meanwhile, there's a giant battle happening over here. Skirmishers will die pretty quickly to the Shotel warriors. Shotels are really fun to mix in, especially when you have elite because of all the attack. Blue did try a counter raid, and Blue's just standing there attacking a farm at the moment. But Blue has been pushed back, and Blue continues to lose ground here. Skirmishers are really strong, though. Skirmishers are actually holding pretty decently. Maybe Blue's got a chance here. I don't know. Blue is attacking with the Knights now. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, Blue. Let's go. Unfortunately, I think we were spoiled a little bit by the fact that this individual did say that was rough. So I called him out from hiding. I respect the fact that Yasuo here wasn't chatty until I kind of prompted it. So when playing against heavy archers, always trade skirms. You should try and avoid a death ball. GG's though. Yeah, like you need to have... If you're making a lot of skirms in Castle Age against an archer player, the big aspect that needs to be remembered, guys, is that archers do not cost food, which means they can likely go imp before you. Whereas skirmishers and their upgrades cost a lot of food. Which means you want to use those skirmishers in Castle Age and get good traits. Because if you wait with the skirms, on similar economies, the archer player will be Imperial Age faster than you. Simply due to just not spending food. I think what we're seeing from Blue now is Blue is playing on due to the fact that he... Well, yeah. Yeah, but Blue is playing on due to the fact that he maybe knew we were watching at this time. Only Lithuanians. Did you have this... Okay, he says, so sad to lose. Anyway, GG. All right, blue taps out here. How far in this game were you when you ended up realizing that I was streaming it? Because I don't know how far in it was. Maybe it was just the Dark Age or whatever. I guess it would be, right, if you said you were nervous. So, anyways, KD 2-1. Lessons learned there. It was a pretty solid game overall. Resources collected wasn't really that different. I think it was the value and the timings and taking the fights properly. Again, lots of lessons to be learned, right? I say move out with the skirms. Maybe Red would have Siege in a different world, and then suddenly the skirms are a little bit more awkward there. But was still a fun game. I still felt like it was a good time. I hope people enjoyed that one too.